Hey there folks! Now I'm gonna skip the formalities and I'm gonna go right into the video. First of all, hi, I missed you too. Second of all, since I don't have much time editing my videos, I will be doing a raw commentary on this and hopefully you guys will enjoy. Now here I just figured out that I was missing a gem on one of my items and I created one very fast. And I went on to continue showing some of the gear that I have on, as you can see here. Again, this is a voiceover on the record that I did, so it might seem weird explaining things that I do while playing the game, but that's what it is. Anyway, here I initiate with Ravager. I chose to play Ravager because it gives me rage, which I need to spend it on my abilities and ignore pain. And since I've had my ignore pain buffed with some protection warrior traits, I'm gonna need raids every time it's up. So Ravager does help a lot with rage generation. Plus 30-second cooldown is better than 1 minute Bladestorm. Now of course Bladestorm is way better because it negates some of the enemy crowd control abilities, such as stunning and fear maybe, or charm effects, sure. But with the latest changes that Ravager got of chasing the nearby enemies, I believe it has potential. I want to believe it has potential. But we shall see. Anyway, I'm hovering here, as you can see, over the Uber strike, showing you how much damage the dummy will have. Notice that every time my ignore pain pops, it's off cooldown, I make sure that I have enough rage to use it. For example, here I will choose to use ignore pain instead of motor strike because I didn't know if my rage would have been enough, since I don't have any add-ons on PTR. I cannot check if my rage is enough, by just looking at it, because it doesn't show any numbers. I have to hover over it with my mouse, and I wasn't really going to do that. Anyway, I continue DPSing the dummy, but not spamming execute, because I want to make it like the dummy is another player in a duel. So, well, if I'm fighting another player, normally they wouldn't be at execute range so fast. And plus, the duel might have been over by now, since some abilities or classes are too overpowered. Warlocks. But still, I want to make sure that I have enough rage through the auto attacks and not spending it on execute, but rather on my ignore pain and motor strike. Occasionally, as you might have seen, I pop my sweeping strikes, and when it ends, I use whirlwind. Now at some point I forgot about it, maybe it's because I was dying, but anyway, I was using it because I chose the collateral damage talent, which gives me 25% every time I cleave damage to my whirlwind when sweeping strike ends. Surprisingly enough, it does proc on single target. So, well, when it procs, when it ends, I use it. Why not? But after a while, I realized that 30 rage on whirlwind is another mortar strike or potentially another ignore pain. So I might as well skip that. Now 190% damage on the Uber strike. We will find out soon enough that I will feel the pressure from the dummy. But we are already at about, how much is it? 4 minutes DPSing the dungeon dummy, tank dummy. And the healing, the self-healing of arms has improved. However, before you guys say that, oh, arms looks great, much self-healing and lifesteal and stuff like that, ignore pain is broken. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I was using the Lucid Dream Essence that whenever I spent raids it had a chance of healing me, and Lethal Strikes that also heal me. But since the dummy was below 20% HP, it procced more often, meaning it healed more often. So it's not as good as you might think because of the essences. I'm pretty sure that in Shadowlands we'll have minimum options of self-healing, but that still remains to be seen.
Well, look at you, the mighty hero.
Bon Sandy is such a troll, man. Anyway, now I had the liberty of doing both specs. However, I didn't go reforge my Azerites again because it's so buggy in the PTR right now that when you go to the reforger and you pay to reforge your trait, I mean your the Azerite piece, it doesn't appear to be reforged, but you lose the money. If you relog, however, you will see that the essences have been reset and you will have to select them again, but you have to do the same thing again and again of logging in and out after selecting one talent because it doesn't lock in. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. You select an Azerite trait, it doesn't lock in, instead it shows as if it's not selected. You log out, you log back in, and boom, it's there. Anyway, it's a small bug. I didn't go through the trouble again. I thought I might try Fury with the current essences. I'm only missing one Azerite piece. Not missing, but only one Azerite piece had one trait which was not beneficial for Fury, but the rest of them were good for what I wanted to test, which is Ignore Pain. And so far Fury has the highest chances of winning a 1v1 duel for a warrior spec, even after the nerf of Bloodthirst healing. It used to be 5%, but now it's 3%. That can be sort of, how should I put this elegantly? If you use the Reckless Abandon talent, it buffs your Bloodthirst and Raging Blow. Now it doesn't buff the healing, it buffs the cooldown. Means that, as you can see right now, I can spam Bloodthirst more often, almost every second global, excuse me. So every 2 seconds I heal for 6% of my HP. It's the same as it used to be. Back in BFA, I was able to use Bloodthirst every second global. No, actually every third global. So that was the idea behind it. To keep on spamming it so it can heal me. Right now we can only do that by selecting the Reckless Abandon talent that buffs the talent itself. It buffs the ability itself, and it buffs Raging Blow as well by making us sort of charge to the enemy. I think it's 10 yards if I checked correctly last time, or 5, whatever the case. You can charge when you pop Recklessness to your enemy when using Raging Blow. But the idea behind it was not because I want DBS. This is a build to make me as tanky as possible, and I thought that Reckless Abandon, since it reduces the cooldown of Bloodthirst, was the go-to option. Yeah, I was testing what the Ignore Pain capacity was right here. That's why I moused over. But anyway, let's talk about the elephant. Let's address the elephant in the room, and that's the 80 raids cost of Ignore Pain for Fury Warriors. It's shit, and I'm going to put a beep on that. It's terrible. It's not cost efficient. It will drag the whole rotation of the class back. If you want to have an active mitigation on you that will negate some damage and provide a small support to the healer in your group, whether it's a raid or a dungeon, because we're talking about PvE here. Unless Blizzard fixes it by reducing the cost to 40 raids, same as a tank or Arms Warrior has, I don't think that PvEers will be wasting 80 raids, which is another rampage, to keep their raids up on Ignore Pain. It's not how it goes, it's not how the meta works. I can see the idea behind the talent, damn it, the spell, but unless they reduce its raid cost, I don't think it's gonna have any spot on the action bars of a PvEer, especially when they are fighting the boss. Yes, they can use it if they disengage or if they stack somewhere away from the boss and they are not in melee range and they have enough raids to spend. And they can initiate again with another charge, which means they can have rage again to use Rampage. But there are very few circumstances where Ignore Pain is going to be preferred instead of Rampage. In PvP is a whole nother case, but in PvE is very, very rare that we are going to choose that instead of Rampage. Now, to wrap things up, I'm going to be showing you some of the glitches and fun ruiners of the game, and also some of the unbalanced and unfair, you name it, mechanics of the game. Number one, as you can see here, I'm trying to switch my weapon back as arms from a one-hander to a two-hander. It doesn't allow me while I'm in combat. Strange, right? I could use other abilities, sure, but I cannot switch my one-hand back. Now I'm gonna start the fight with the two-hand. I'm going to attack it. I'm in combat and I want to, say, switch to a shield. Boom! No one hand. I can use shield slam, sure, but I cannot use any other abilities, no slam for example. When I press to switch back to my two-hand, however, it lets me. I can spam my abilities again. Then I want to go back to shields. I just press it, and again, I cannot equip my one-hand. I can use other abilities, sure, that require a shield, but nothing else. I think it's a bug. I hope it's not intended, that you are not allowed to switch weapons in combat. But if it is intended, which I highly doubt, then Blizzard ruins the whole idea behind having these class-specific abilities for every spec. And a pretty short comment about unfairness. Shield Slam doesn't give raids, it would be nice so we can spam Ignore Pain in our shield and one-hand version, whereas Paladins can use Shield of Righteous and get armor. And that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again next time.
I return home to take what solace I can in my family. I hope you take solace in yours.